A true life story. This story will bring you to tears. Here is the story. In a small town somewhere in Ebira land, Kogi State, Nigerian, a young girl named Anavami lived a life of hardship. After her mother passed away, her father remarried, hoping to bring stability to their home. But instead, Anavami found herself trapped in a cycle of abuse. Her stepmother treated her as nothing more than a servant, forcing her to hawk oranges on the streets while her half-siblings attended school. Her father, though loving, was weak and sickly. He often pleaded with his wife, saying, "Please be kind to her, she's my daughter as well. Remember, no one knows who Anavami will become tomorrow. Treat her well, I beg you." But his words held no weight, and his failing health left him powerless to protect his daughter. Despite the suffering, he always told Anavami, "Be patient, my child. One day, everything will change." One fateful afternoon, exhausted and deep in thought while hawking oranges, Anavami stepped onto the road without looking properly. A loud screech, a thud, and darkness followed. When she opened her eyes, she was in a hospital, confused and in pain. A kind woman sat by her bedside, looking at her with deep concern. "My name is Oyiza," the woman said gently. "I knew your mother." "Your mother was my childhood friend. Few years ago, your mother was instrumental to my traveling abroad. When the opportunity came for me to travel and I had no money for my flight ticket, your mother sold her jewelries and wrappers to support my flight ticket fee. I returned to Nigeria last week and have been hoping to see you after I learnt of her passing." Seeing Anavami's pain, Oyiza decided to take her in. When she suggested going back to seek her father's permission, Anavami refused. "I don't want to see that woman again," she said through tears. Back in Anavami's home, a neighbor rushed in to inform her stepmother about the accident. Instead of worry, she scoffed. "Who cares if she dies?" she muttered. But her father's heart shattered when he was told Anavami was gone. He wept for days, his body growing weaker as grief consumed him. Meanwhile, under Auntie Oyiza's care, Anavami's life changed. She was given the education she never had, treated with kindness, and shown the possibilities of a better future. At first, she struggled to trust anyone, haunted by years of mistreatment. But with time, she flourished. She studied hard, built a career, and became a successful businesswoman, all while carrying the painful memories of her past. Years later, Anavami returned to her hometown, not as a helpless girl, but as a woman who had conquered her past. She stepped out of her car, her presence commanding attention. Her father, now frail but alive, saw her and broke down in tears. "My daughter, you're alive," he whispered, embracing her tightly. Her stepmother and half-siblings stood at a distance, ashamed and fearful. The once proud woman now looked small, her eyes filled with regret. She fell to her knees. "Anavami, please forgive me," she begged. Anavami looked at her for a long moment before speaking. "I forgive you," she said, her voice steady, "but I will never forget." She turned to her father. "Come with me, Baba. You deserve peace." As they drove away, her stepmother watched in silence, left to reflect on the weight of her choices. Don't forget to like, share, and drop your comments in our comment section. Catch us in our next story. Bye.